Hello, welcome to Magical Maidens Jewelry Tutorials, and today what I'm going to show you is a project that you can easily do with some cardstock and some of the material matte, the glitter mats that I showed you. They could all get this from Hobby Lobby. Now I've shown you in my other videos the different colors and the different kinds, and it's like a matte, and they're wipeable as well, and they have the different colors and textures. And then I have some cardstock, and that's cardstock, okay? That's a little different, and on the back it's going to look like this, okay? On both of those. So I'm going to put this aside, get it out of the way. Now another thing you're going to do, and I've already cut out my templates, you can print out a pattern. They have cut patterns for free, either on Pinterest or you can just Google it or whatever, and they do have some free patterns. So what I'm going to make is something similar to this, and then they had the 3 cutouts for that next to it that was right there. So I cut these out after I printed this. I cut these out, and then I took my cardstock, and you're going to want to cut out 4 for the large, 4 for the small, and 4 for the medium. Now you're probably wondering, why 4 when it's just a set of earrings, which is usually 2? Well, because you're going to need to put them back to back, because when you have earrings you're going to see the front and the back, and that's why I wanted 4. Now you probably only have to do that for the larger one, but it doesn't hurt. So you can decide if you want to do that, if you want to just make one of these, but that's your choice. So for today what I'm going to do is, now we have the 2 shapes because we want to have a back to this because you're wearing earrings. So what it's going to do is, I'm going to show you that you're going to take 2 and 2, you're going to line them up, make sure they're even. You're going to need you're going to need a pair of scissors, something to trace it with, a pen or a pencil if you'd rather, in case you slip, some E6000 jewelry glue. Now I've used quite a bit, but this is what it looks like, okay? And then something to spread it. You can either use a little stir stick or you can get a toothpick. But this is going to be some larger, so I'm probably going to need both for the small and large. Then, because you want to, now you can use post if you want to have earring posts that you just glue, but I'm going to need, and I'm going to use earring fish hooks. And so to poke the hole, you're going to need something like a push pin, and then maybe something to round it off. And I'm just going to use my round nose pliers. I'm not going to push it down, but I'll get to that after. And you'll want to be very careful when doing that, and you want to make sure all your pieces are together. But when we get to that point, you'll see that, and I'll show you that, okay? So I'm going to get everything out of the way, and save your templates for later because you never know when you need them. Put them in a place where they're going to stay flat, okay? Now, what it's going to look like, so if you put this back to back, and after you glued it, you're going to get the medium, and now you can line this up any way you want. You can have it centered like that, or up here to the point. Kind of sticks to the cardstock here. And then you're going to take another one, the littlest one, and kind of put it like there. And then then you would make your hole. But see, that's what it's going to look like. Of course, it's going to be a little even here. And then you're going to do the same with the other side, and that's what we're doing today. So let's get started. So I've gone ahead and traced it. So you're going to want to trace it on the back of the cardstock and the back of your material, whatever you use. You could also get this in the matte. They have black glitter type, but I happen to have cardstock and this, so whatever you want to use, it still has the same effect. So you want to line this up the best you can, and then what you want to do is you want to get some E6000 jewelry glue. And you don't need a whole lot, but you are going to spread this. So I have a toothpick and I have my stir stick. And I'm just going to push what I have out. And then I'm going to take some. And then I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to put some light on this. And then I'm going to spread the glue. Try to get it all over, but you know, you just need a little bit. If you need a little more, go ahead, but you don't want it to ooze out of the sides. So, but make sure you get it kind of everywhere. Smooth as you can. Make sure you have a paper towel at hand too, okay? So I'm going to put this down. All right, so now I have it on there, and I'm going to take my other side and I'm going to put it down. Now, it gives you some time to line the pieces up, so don't panic, because that's what I like about using E6000 glue. It gives you some time that you can actually move it around. It gives you that kind of time. So, and now what you want to do is then go like this. Now, if you see the other half of the other part showing through, once this is dry, go ahead and trim that so you don't notice it. And you want to take it like this, go all around to make sure that's smooth, okay? And press. Okay. So it should look like this, okay? And then we'll go trim that excess later. I'm going to put this one aside, and I'm going to go ahead and do my next one, because you want to do them at the same time before you get to the next shape, okay? Okay, so now these are both glued, and there you have it, 2 earring pieces, but we're not going to do the whole yet because we still need the second step. Okay, so I'm going to move these over here, and now I'm going to take the center pieces. Now, you could either glue these back to back, okay, and then put that there, or because you're not going to see the back of this, you're going to put that here and line it up where you want it. And remember, E6000 glue gives you a little time to play with it, okay? So when you figure out where you're going to want this, now you're going to get your glue. Start spreading it on the back. And you don't want to use too much, like I said, just enough. But make sure you get the edges. because you don't want this popping up. But at the same time, you want to know that everything is going to be secure. So I'm going ahead and doing that. I'm going to wipe my stir stick. Okay, make sure your hands don't have any glue on it. Now this is the important part because it can be a little tricky, but you want to get it right where you're going to want this. Okay, try to be as careful as you can. And then when you're sure of the position, look at it. You have a little time to move it around. Do you like that? Is it, stare at it for a bit. Don't just, because it could shift probably. Now, we're going to push down. We're going to push down. We're going to push down. That's why I didn't want you to put so much of the E6000 glue, because if you do, when you're pushing down, it's going to ooze off. And then it's going to make a mess out of your cardstock, okay? So go ahead and push down. And it should look something like this, okay? And you see the black showing through. And like I said, if there's a little excess of the background, don't worry. We can trim that off later. So go ahead and make sure that that's all good. And now we're going to go do the second half. I suggest you do both at the same time because you want to make sure they're matching. If you just go ahead and glue this and finish one without the other, you're not going to really see the whole picture to make sure they're both even. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you look at the way that other one is and try to match yours up. As similar as you can get to the other one. And make sure the sides are good. And when you see everything lined up the way you want it, hold them together, make sure they're even, and then go ahead and push. You could do it gently. Make sure you're even. Okay, that's that step. Okay, so we're down to the third step and final step. We're down to the third step. Now again, you can do back to back like so, but you don't have to, because guess what? You're not going to see it. Now you're going to go a little lower with this, kind of see before how you're going to do it. Okay? And now we're going to put some of the glue on the back of those. And then we're going to push. We're going to put them together. Push, 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 push. You can put something heavy on here for like 20 minutes if you'd like. But do it gently. And what you should have should look exactly like that. Okay. Now you could have moved this way up. But I didn't want it fully up. I wanted to have like a little ring of silver around it. Okay. Just to make sure everything is to your liking and even enough. Go ahead. Now you're going to let it sit and you're going to let it dry for about 20 minutes. Okay. And after the 20 minutes, now I'm not going to, for time's sake, very carefully, I'm going to take my pin and where the silver part is, you're going to determine where do you want. You can do something like turning it over and then gluing a design, one of these earring, and then you have a hook to, if you want to make it fancy. But if you don't, and you just want to be simple about it, we have to make a hole in here. So I'm going to go through the silver part right there, and I'm going to punch a hole, and then I'm going to make sure it goes right to the back, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm going to go in the back where my hole is, and I'm going to go to the front. Okay, and then I'm going to take it again for good measure and go like that. Now, to secure the hole, to make it a slightly bit bigger, I'm going to get just the tip. You see, it's just the tip. You're not going to poke it all the way through. You're going to have a huge hole and it's going to look ridiculous. But see how much I put there? And now you should have a nice hole at the tip. So now we're going to repeat that process on the other side. Now, once you've done the hole, is your time to trim any excess pieces that are showing through from the back, okay? By now everything should be dry, otherwise while you're handling it, lots of things can shift, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so now that we got that part, we need some jump rings. So I got 2 of these 8mm jump rings. They're a little larger. I was going to use the 6, but it's not going to come up enough. But you want to do that, and then you're going to poke it through gently. Going to close them. Okay, make sure it's closed. Be sure that you made sure everything is dry before you get to this step. You don't want to shift your stuff around. Just need 2 of them. And now but these are facing this way, right? And we need the earring fish hook facing the back. But I'm going to show you a trick you can do so that we don't have to add yet another jump ring. Once you have that in there, okay, you're going to hold it and simply turn the part that goes through your ear towards the back of the earring. And that's all you really have to do. See? So you just turn it to the back of the earring. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other one, just in case you didn't see. I'm going to open the part of the earring fish hook that needs to be opened. And then I'm going to put it through the jump ring. Make sure it's closed. Okay, and now you're going to take it. See, it's facing the side. And you're going to hold the base and you're going to turn the top part so that it's facing the back. This way you don't have to add other jump rings to it. Okay, but if you want to, you could then add some 6mm jump rings and then that. And that can make it hang a little longer. But that's all you have to do. Make sure everything is dry before you start wearing it. I would wait 24 hours before I actually wore it. I'd wait 20 to 30 minutes before I messed with piercing a hole and hooking anything up, because you don't want to mess with your design here and have things shift all around. Okay, the same with trimming any excess. So I'm gonna try it on. So here they are. Here are the earrings. I have to look at it from there on the monitor, but this is what the earrings are gonna look like. You can get them to turn this way or from the side, but I've turned them that way. Okay, and they're going to face the way you want to, according to the way you twist that. So I hope you enjoyed this affordable and easy jewelry tutorial, and if you did, please give this a like, and if you know anybody that might be interested in this jewelry tutorial, please share it with them, and if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. So all of my supplies I got at Hobby Lobby. So if you need to look for the cardstock and the matte material, go ahead and do so. You could also, like I said, get this black cardstock, the glittery stuff, also in the matte material, and it's glittery just as well. And that's how I did this. And again, don't forget, if you're bad at shapes and you need a template, you can go to like Pinterest or something and print out one of these cut patterns for different shapes and take your time cutting them. Now, it could have been done this way, where it's stacked and there's more room, but I made my 4th of July earrings like that. So I wanted to give it a little bit of a different look. So there they are. I love the way they look. I love the way they look on, and I'm going to pair it with that new necklace that I made that's silver and black. If you haven't seen that jewelry tutorial, go check it out on my jewelry tutorial playlist. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my videos. Bye!